Page 19, Brother John. On page 18, they're introducing you to a thing called a C major chord. Well, hopefully you recognize the word C. That's the name of a note. On piano, C is here. It's the bottom of two black notes. C, 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 C. Okay. We got that part covered. And you recognize the word chord. A chord, as I define it, is any two or more notes. Doesn't matter. Some people say three or more notes. I ain't getting into that. So you got the chord. So you know there's a chord, you know there's more than one note involved, and you know that the key of the note C is involved. That's the major thing in the middle we don't talk about. They give you examples. We have three notes in this chord. It's called a triad. T-R-I. It means three. Tricycle, triplane, whatever. The C is the bottom note in the triad. That identifies the chord. So it's a C chord. There are a lot of other C chords. Just focus on this one right now. C triad. The major part is the kicker. Different ways of explaining this. I don't want to get into a lot of detail yet because you still need some more information you don't have to really thoroughly understand it. Just know that when I'm in the key of C major and I want a C chord, that is a chord built on the bottom note, it is a major chord. It is a major chord because, hang on to your socks, it's made up of two thirds. A third here and a third here. Some people say it's made up of a third and a fifth. A third here and a fifth here. I don't care how you look at it. There's different views of you can take an object and look at it from different angles. You get that idea? The point is, with a major triad, the first third is going to be a major third, and the second third is going to be a minor third. Well, that means absolutely nothing at this point, because how do you know what a major and minor third is? They haven't introduced that yet. It's like, Alfred, what are you doing with this? Why are you talking major chords? Because you need to know these other things to understand really what it is. So I'm saying right now, a major chord, a C major chord, is the chord built on C, using only the white keys, every other note, and you just know that's a C major chord. That's a C major chord, period. Doesn't matter what your finger, where it is, anywhere. It is a C major chord, and in the music they give you various examples in bass clef and treble clef, and it's whatever. And the fingering, well, there are different fingerings depending on the situation. The fingering we're going to start out with is this one, where you're doing a 1-3-5 here or a 5-3-1 here. And notice when I'm saying finger numbers, I start with the bottom and go up most of the time. Sometimes I screw up and go down, but most of the time 1-3-5 or 5-3-1. And that's the fingering we're going to use for a while. It's in C position, naturally. That's a C major chord. We'll get into it more later on. Right now, that's close enough. I'm not going to go play any of that stuff on page 18. I've pretty much already played the notes. So let's go on to Brother John. In Brother John, you will see that we have treble and bass clefs again. We have 4/4 time. The hands are playing at the same time sometimes, not always, because if you look at the last two measures, they're not playing at the same time anymore. Just little things to notice. The chords kind of stick out at you in the left hand. Normally I do the right hand first, I don't have to. I can do either hand first. I see these chords sticking out. Well, okay, for the most part, the left hand is playing the C major chord, or a C chord. If you leave out the word major, it's implied it's a major chord. If it's anything else, you have to say what it is. But if I say it's a C chord, it's a C major chord. It's a, you know. The right hand gets the melody and all the fun stuff. The dynamics. It starts out P. Piano means soft. That's the melody. So this part, you'll have to decide what soft is, but that's what this is. Well, if this is soft, you can imagine what the left hand has to be. It has to be really soft, and you're playing 3 notes at a time. It outnumbers what the right hand is doing, but it's still got to be softer than it. It's got to be way in the background, so you have to practice that. You're dropping the hand and the wrist, but you're doing it slowly or lightly, however you want to. 2 different ways of looking at the same thing here. Try and get all the notes down. Try and get them down at the same time. Try and get them down softly. So this melody, so even though it's soft, it's still louder than the right or left hand. What you don't do is you'll say, okay, how soft can I play this left hand? And however soft that is, you say, okay, that's soft for the left hand, I'll just play the right hand louder than that. No, please don't do that. Figure out the melody of how soft you want that to be, and you practice the other part and get it softer. That's your challenge, that's your assignment should you choose to take it. That's what it is. I'm actually playing this very softly. It's softer than that. Soft is just soft. That makes sense, doesn't it? Soft is soft. Yeah, okay. The point is the melody is what's important. And then in the last 2 measures of the piece, it's all melody. So you have to get the left hand to match the right hand, so it sounds like one hand played it all. You don't want to be able to tell 2 different hands were doing it. Now they're telling you in the little box at the top there to be thinking about intervals going up and down. I've never done it that way. I've never taught it that way. But if you want to do it that way, knock yourself out. You're just thinking of go up a second, go up a second, go down a third, stay the same. By the way, if it's the same, it's called a unison. As in unicycle, but unison. That's a unison. You can do that if you want. I ain't interested in that, so I don't cover it. The tricky part would be the last 2 measures of the piece. If you're going here, what's that interval? That interval, well, it's a fourth because 1, 2, 3, 4. So down a fourth, up a fourth. Unison, down a fourth, up a fourth. That type of thing. They're also introducing you to a half rest. A half rest is that little box. Well, that's really handy because a whole rest is a little box. Take a look at Happy Song. Here's a happy right under here at the bottom of the page. First measure in the right hand is a box. That's a whole rest. What's the difference between the boxes? Well, they're in different songs. Ha ha ha, that's my joke. No, the half rest sits above the line. The whole rest sits below the line. Now, how you remember which is up to you. You'll come up with your own ideas of how to remember stuff. I remember it by thinking a half rest is lighter than a whole rest. A whole rest is 4 quarter notes, or 4 quarter rests, whatever. And a half rest is only 2. So a half rest is lighter. So a half rest sits on the line, where a whole rest has to hang down the line. So when you're looking at that box, you got to notice, is it above or below the line? Well, if it's the only thing in the measure, it's a whole rest. So, well, you might think, well, if it's the only thing in the measure, it must be a whole rest. That's not true. You can't count on that. So just take notice when you see it, is it above or below the line? And it's the same as 2 quarter notes or 2 quarter rests or whatever. In 4/4 time, it's going to get 2 counts. So the last 2 measures of this piece, the last 2 in the second line, you have a quarter rest in the left hand, because you got to account for 4 beats in every measure of every staff. That's the rule. So the right hand has a note, a rest, and a note. Well, a quarter rest, and a half note. That's 4 counts. We're good to go. The bottom staff has a quarter rest is 1 beat, then a quarter note is 1 beat, and then a half rest is 2 beats. It's like that half note up above it is 2 beats. It's 4 counts. We're good to go. Both staves, the measures, have 4 beats in them, and that's fine. That's what we want. It can get a little involved, but really that's all they're trying to do is make it so that it comes out correctly according to the time signature. I think I've covered about everything I need to cover. Let's try this out slowly and check the notes. You can do the dynamics on your own later, and you can speed it. It says moderately fast. They actually gave it tempo. Doesn't help much because what is moderately fast? It's sort of fast. It's like moderately loud or moderately slow. It's sort of. It's kinda. Yeah, maybe a little. Well, it's up to you. It's on the mood. Up to the mood. What mood are you in? You know, how many beers have you had, or glasses of wine, or whatever that pumps you up or takes you down? I don't know. It can change. I play piano by feel. So depending on how I feel at that moment, it's going to have a lot to do with what moderately fast is for me at that time. When we do these play with me's, we go slow. I'm not trying to do it at speed, because I want you to play along with me and check your notes and rhythms and all. So I'm going to give us 4 counts, and let's do this. You're in C position still. Again, enjoy that C position, because it ain't going to be there a whole lot longer. I'll give us 4 counts, so let's do this. Did I say that? I can't remember. Have we done it yet? Oh, never mind. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.